So, today we're in Malaga. We're going to be going to Park de Malaga to find potentially plants from 5 continents. So we're just at the edge of the park now, as you can see, and having come from an incredibly sun-scorched area of Andalusia, seeing so much green is just incredible. I'd like to just start off by saying I don't have an obsession with palm trees, but we are going to see a fair few today. Palms have been cultivated by humans for millennia. Like, they cover the entire planet, all sorts of abilities, uses, descriptions. I mean, some palm trees technically aren't even classified as trees, depending on which definition you use. One that is behind me here. This is the royal palm, this chonky boy. He is absolutely huge. He has some fantastic uses, can be used as timber and stuff sometimes, but unfortunately termites getting in makes it not the most ideal use of wood. So here we have the silver maple, not to be confused with the sugar maple, which is where you get your delicious maple syrup for your pancakes, although this does have a fair sugar content in its sap, used by the Native Americans, which is where it's native to. This is the most common tree in North America, but actually has an incredible amount of uses. If you were a squirrel, or maybe a beaver or a deer, you'd be like, ooh, that bark looks absolutely delicious. It's buds as well, eaten by the squirrels. And it also provides shelter for like woodpeckers or owls, raccoons, all sorts of stuff. But for humans, apparently this bark here, I'm not gonna trample on this stuff, is actually can be used as cough medicine, which is kind of cool. And because it's such a fast-growing tree, can be used for maybe biofuel in the future. Its wood is also used as like instruments and furniture, which is pretty cool, but it's quite brittle, so it's not the best. Unfortunately, it's also quite an invasive species. Its roots, that obviously we can't see, can crack things such as pavements and septic pipes and all sorts of problems, and it makes a hell of a lot of volunteer sprouty plants if you don't keep on top of it. But yeah, North America ticked off the list. So a key plant from South Africa that I have to talk about is, of course, the crane flower, also known as the bird of paradise flower. This, I think, is the Reginae species with its orange petals, but I mean, don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. Introduced to Britain in 1773. It's been planted all around the world. It's really pretty. It's very low maintenance. It's pretty tolerant to different soils and all sorts of stuff, and it's actually non-allergenic. The pollen that it produces has some rating of like 1, so apparently pretty much no one is allergic to it. Although it's the plant of South Africa, and it appears on their coins, I think, it's the official flower of LA. Don't ask me why. So yeah, the only thing is, if you're a bit impatient, it takes about 3 to 5 years for it to bloom. It has been known to bloom in 2, but 3 to 5 years is a pretty long wait, although the flowers do last for a long time. So yeah, look at that, absolutely beautiful. Why am I standing here in the dark, kind of, looking at 2 palm trees? Palm tree, and some graffiti. Well, this very slender palm is called the elegant palm. It also has the name cabbage palm, not really sure why about that. It's native to Australia, has these awesome flowers that unfortunately we can't see today, but you might be able to make out this fruit, these red little egg-shaped little blobs about 1 inch across. Next to this Australian native plant, we have here the butterfly palm, native to Madagascar and South India. I mean, these 2 plants, in the millions of years they've taken to evolve, definitely would never have come to meet. This butterfly palm apparently is called that because of its these leaves curve upwards. You see, kind of like a fold, kind of like a butterfly's wing. I don't know, talk to the scientists, not to me. But also known as the golden cane palm. Generally both of these are used ornamentally. But, I mean, it's just kind of nuts that they're just sat next to each other. I mean, they don't even speak the same language. Ancient carvings. No one knows what they mean. So, I've been looking for a plant from East Asia, and I have found one. This big guy here is called the ginkgo biloba. It's from China. Used often as a bonsai tree, which if you're not too clear on, bonsais are just a method of making a teeny tiny tree look like a big tree that you see out in the wild. Maybe you cut it or you scar it in certain ways to kind of copy or mimic what the big tree looks like. So you can even take a cutting from this one, make a little one and make it look like this guy. It's got some cool history. It's been around for 270 million years. Its nuts are eaten traditionally in a dish called Buddha's Delight at Chinese New Year, and apparently the nuts have an aphrodisiac effect. All sounds good, yeah, thumbs up, great plant. But actually, when I was researching this guy, it has a dark side. So although the nuts apparently may be aphrodisiac, eat too many and you poison yourself. Thumbs down. The medicinal uses that the Chinese use, no systematic review has found anything positive from any part of the plant, especially the fact that obviously you poison yourself if you eat too many of the nuts, but also the fact that the leaves, if you consume them in any sort of way, it doesn't matter how you cook them, doesn't matter, you can have dizziness, poisoning, bleeding if you're pregnant. Some people have contact dermatitis if you come in contact with the seeds, the bark. Just don't go near it, really. And yet some people think that this plant can help with memory loss or with Alzheimer's, but no review has found that to be possible so far. So good on you, China. Carry on doing what you do. I'm not going to go near it. Wow. I'm going to play a game. Can you guess what this plant is? Here, I'll give you some clues. Number one. It's from Latin America, northern Latin America. Different species come from different areas, but I think this guy's a Mexican variety. 2, the name of the fruit that it bears is the Nahuatl word for testicle, so imagine that shape in your head. 3, it has very large fruits with seeds so big that potentially it co-evolved with megafauna, such as the giant ground sloth, since they would be able to actually eat the whole fruit and poo out the incredibly large seeds. Last clue, if you still haven't got it, key ingredient to guacamole. What is it? It's the avocado. There are so many awesome nutrients that you can get from the fats, trace elements, and it's been imported all over the world, grown in Australia, in America, in Asia, all sorts. But did you know, for example, the bark is actually toxic to many animals? This thing here would kill a horse. Apparently if you fed the leaves too, it would kill a horse. Many other animals are also unable to consume many parts of this plant. It's used as a house plant in many different places. If you're interested, I 100% recommend looking up this guy. So many awesome things could be found out about it. So thanks again, tree, for producing avocados. You the best. So we've done it. We've found a plant endemic to Europe, specifically Western Mediterranean. This is again another Doctor Who plant. It's the only species in the Tetraclinus genus, the Articulata, also known as the Sandarac tree or the Cypress de Cartagena, aquí en España. It's probably wondering what the hell's going on, because this is an incredibly slow growing plant. So to see one this big is fantastic. Sadly, it's got some fantastic wood that people have been cutting down to use, which has meant that it's not very sustainable to use it. Also, its sap can be used for varnish, specifically for paintings. It's got these cool scale-like leaves, as you can see here, and it's one of the only, there's a small group of them, evergreen plants that can actually coppice, which means if you cut it, it can regrow from its base, but unfortunately not fast enough to be used really as a crop. It's the national tree of Malta, and fossils have been found in northern Italy. So I hope that we don't deforest this guy to extinction. It'd be really sad to see him go. cold. There you have it, our plant-based trip around the world. I hope you've enjoyed our tour, and if you've learned something, let me know. This was interesting for me, and I'm definitely not going to be touching any medicinal plants from China. If you have any questions, send them my way, and otherwise I'll see you next time.